Hi, everybody. Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It's Monday. How quickly does the weekends go? It's ridiculous, isn't it? But I hope you're all safe and well. If you went there, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a good subscribe, all that good stuff. Maybe become a channel member as well. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Anyway, usually I do a West Ham debrief the day after, or the Monday after, the night before, so to speak. But I've had enough of Saturday now, so I want to move on. And I was thinking what to do. And yesterday, obviously, there was a lot of press coverage, the Sun in the UK, Daily Star, about DCL, about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and there's a lot of speculation. I think X came out and said it's rubbish or whatever. But I thought what we'd do is have a look at him. Let's have a look at him. That's what we do. You know, we don't necessarily, we report the news. We don't necessarily report the news and report the rumours. We don't make them up or anything like that. We're not ITKs. But I thought let's have a quick look at him. And I'll get the heat maps out. I know you're waiting for the heat maps. We've got the heat maps out. And just a little bit more back, because I didn't know a lot about him. I know of him, but I didn't know about him in terms of his goal records, in terms of, you know, how many games he's played and things like that. So that's what will bring that information to you, and then you can make your own decisions. Let's see, loads of comments in the chat. Audi, good morning. Other than this channel, I see his news music. No, well, it was in a lot of the newspapers yesterday. That was why. So, but we're just bringing it because I thought it'd be an interesting topic of conversation. It's a new name to throw in the cupboard, so to speak, of transfer rumours. We won't. Everton's asking, no chance, waste of time. Really, we'll see. I hope he's not crap. There we go. A lot of people saying this is a bad option, but he won't go for him. It's West Ham, so I'll give you some stats, and do you know what? And actually, considering what we've got now, and you know, people say we need someone, I think he wouldn't be bad. I don't think for the money that they quoted, but as managed as 35 max potentially. You know, that's what I would say. Even if true, he's very injury prone. We'll talk about that as well, because I think that's something which is maybe I'm going to dispel that myth slightly. Maybe we'll do that. Neil, hope you're well. Afternoon. Anil, DCL sounds like a long-term injury. Sounds great. Not a chance, says Alex. Not getting anyone. Thank you, Alex. The voice, the voice of the half-empty glass. I hope you're well, my friend. Gaz, good afternoon to you. This is like fish in a market, indeed. Everyone's talking to each other. That's very good. Finally tested negative on COVID, 16 days. That's good, man. They also, while we're here, I thought let's go out to Stevie Bacon, who's unfortunately had to. He's in hospital again. Obviously, the club photographer. He's had to have his other leg. He had one leg, and that's been now amputated as well now. So, and he's struggling a bit. So if you know Steve, and you know, go on Twitter or whatever, he's reading all the messages. Send him your love. He's an absolute club legend at West Ham. Ludders, hope you're well. At what point do we wake up to the fact we're being duped? Oh, Alex, I love you. I do love you. Champions League best players of the club. Where is his promise to take us to the next level? I don't know, Alex. Mark, good afternoon to you. Everyone's talking to each other. I'm just going through everyone, and then we'll start talking. Peach and Budgie and Kieran were still at 5. How does Peach sleep? Where does he sleep? Afternoon, Aiden. So I'm just going through. Pete, hope you're well. Gaz, I'm very well. Hope you're well. I doubt, but this is a sort of business that will make us a better side. Ruben, I agree. If this is semantic for impressions, I'm in the wrong chat. Dennis can't finish. There we go. Apparently, my concern is that we didn't get our business done early. And now we're in panic mode and looking to pay anything for anything and everything. Kemi, not sure on this one. He's a great strike at 60 million. Not a lot on my opinion. Is a lot from my opinion. It is. I personally think it's a stupid rumour. It won't happen because it is West Ham. Thank you. Michael, hope you're well. The end is nigh indeed. I would like this transfer to happen, says Mike. Isn't he injured until March? What could it be? No thanks. Poor finisher, one season wonder. Well, then if we're looking at Ben Brendan Diaz is a one season wonder, surely as well, can he? I don't want him. He's injury prone. We'll see about that. Karina, hope you're well. I think he'll be quality, right attitude, poor player. Better finish Antonio. He stays central, or does he? We'll talk about that in a minute. What about his other keeper? Obviously, Dragonovski from Fiorentina we've been linked with as well. But Stell will cover all that later on tonight, I think. And new signings, adding Andy Carroll, Freddie Sears, and Colton Cole. Doesn't fancy Haller. Oh, all the best to Stevie Bacon, indeed. Good afternoon, Grant, Ian. Oh my God, trying to get for everyone. Oh, geez, there's so many of you. Right, Pierre. Mo, hope you're well. I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but I just want to get to everybody well. Yep. Indeed, it's Ben Johnson's birthday today. Good afternoon. Holding up all right. Hope you're well. Who are Newcastle buying? Indeed, or who are we going to nick from Newcastle? Indeed, Moyes going to convert DCL to right wing back. Oh dear! But that was the thing about Traore, and everyone's talking about Traore. As I said, when we signed Antonio, he was 26, and I know he's going to go. It looks like Traore's going to Spurs. But Traore is 26 as well, and so, anyway, 100% great big business deals, in my opinion. Now, Gary, everyone, my friend, young, and yeah. I mean, in terms of ticking boxes, people have been criticized. Oh, all these people we link with, none of them got Premier League experience. DCL, tick. He's young, tick. He knows where the back of the net is. Maybe more so than Antonio, tick. But anyway, we'll come to that. Hope you, Marcus, hope you well. I don't think it's time to get us to the next level, but I think who is going to be getting us to the next level? Anyway, let's talk about DCL in a bit more detail. So let's get that one so you can see. Hello. So he is 24 years old. He has made 217 first team appearances for Everton, Northampton, and the Dirty Pigs, Sheffield United, scoring 64 goals in his first team football career, 17 assists. So not necessarily the assist king, but what's that? That's 1 in 4, 6, 12, 18, 24. About that, innit? 1 in 4. So yeah, Cobblers. No, it's true. He did play for Northampton Town. Indeed. Right. I'm just gonna put it there so I know where we are. What else we got about him? He is a full England international as well. 11 caps for the full England side, 4 goals. He was a under 21s. He scored 7 goals in 17 and 6 goals in 14 for the under 20s. He obviously moved to Everton back in. Oh wait, I had it up. Anyway, I'll get that for you. Okay. I had all that stuff already. Oh, bloody work, coming and taking all my stuff away. Let me get. So he moved. Sorry, he moved from Sheffield United rather. Can't get that one wrong. Sheffield United to Everton in August 2016 for a reported 1.62 million, having been on loan to Northampton. Hence the Northampton numbers as well in terms of his league appearances. So in terms of, we'll come back to the heat map in a minute. Because I think it's interesting. In terms of his Premier League goals, he's at the moment 6 Premier League appearances this season, 3 goals, 1 in 2. 1 in 2. I'll have some of that. 2021, he made 34 appearances and scored 16 goals. 19 to 20, 42 appearances. 36 appearances in 17-18 for 4 goals. So in terms of his total Premier League appearances, 150 Premier League appearances, 43 goals, 6-12. So yeah, still about 1 in 4, just less than 1 in 4, 1 in 3. So someone who's apparently injury prone, as people said. I mean, he played 34, 42, 41, 36. In terms of his injuries at the moment, he's out injured at the moment. He's basically fractured his toe. But that's his his injury history. So 21. So he's missed most of this season already with an injured toe. As Ludder says, I think he's back in March. So again, that probably kibosh is a January move. But and again, it's not. He missed 2 games. Missed 5 games last year for injury. 1 game in 18. Didn't miss any games in 19 to 20. Missed 4 games in 17 and 16, 17. Missed 8 games. But again, for me, all very different in terms of his injuries. It's not the same one. I mean, look at someone like Antonio, for example, as the comparison. This is Antonio's injury record. This is our Premier League all-time goal scorer. Hamstring 3 games, hamstring 10 games, hamstring 8 games, hamstring 7 games. So we've got very much, apart from this season, he hasn't, touch wood, got injured, to that degree at all. But he does get injured quite a lot. He has been injured a lot over the last 3 years. I think every year since, apart from this year, he's been injured for a prolonged period of time. So he has got some, you talk about being injury prone. He somewhat has been injury prone. Now, in terms of he was waiting for the heat map. This is the heat map. Obviously, he hasn't played many games this season. So So I've done it for the whole of last season, where we made, was it 42 appearances, something like that. And so you can see actually it's very similar to when we looked at Antonio's, if you remember, all over the place. And so there is movement all that, but there's a lot in the box as well. So there is link up play, and there is a lot of, he's not just he could complement the West Ham style in terms of a forward who's all over the pitch. A bit like Antonio would spend actually the heat map wise. He's got actually less in the box than he has outside the box because he's running down the channels and stuff like this. This guy would run down the channels as well. So I find it interesting to see there's lots of in terms of how he's running about, how he sort of works. He could work with the team. Basically said, this is just a rumor, obviously. This is just a rumor. As I said, 60 million, it seems a bit steep, but he comes with, but the thing is, unfortunately, we want someone with Premier League experience. That's what everyone's been saying. That will cost you a premium. No one in the top 4, top 5 is going to sell to us. So we have to look below those leagues, below that sort of that mini league to the rest of the Premier League for anyone. He's an English player as well, so it comes with a premium as well. So 60 million, I think, for 24-year-old, I think 50, 60 million. I think that's probably the going rate for someone with that potential. Now, obviously, he's injured, so the chances are we're not going to sell him. But the rumor came up, and I thought, we'll send it. I mean, the rumor today about Brozier as well from Southampton, or from Chelsea, but he's on loan to Southampton. Apparently, we're looking at him for 20 million. His heat map again is, this is this year, and he does a lot of run like donkey work, so to speak, very similar to Antonio. So, for Brozier, that could be a worthwhile look at him as well, But 20 million, I think that's. But even that, people go, "Oh, we've gone cheap." Then, you know what I mean? Let's have a look at some of the comments. I think modern day football is about a fast striker who can dribble with the ball, not another cross merchant. We rely on to score headers, but we do cross a lot of the ball in, and very frustratingly, there's never anyone in the bloody box. One Stevie Bacon, there's only one Stevie Bacon. Will Everton ever sanction out goings without a manager in place? Well, Everton are backs against the wall in terms of money. I think we've got this. I think they've got the most income to wage percentage in the Premier League. I think we're second. I think we've got 67% of our income is wages, and I think we can go to 70 in terms of Europe, in terms of our UEFA, because obviously we're playing in Europe. Everton, I think about something like 90%. So they might need to get some money in. Newcastle got 2 players, one who wanted out of the team to come to England, and one really scores. Let's not compare our business to theirs. Indeed, you want to really spend that much on Chris Woods? Good luck to you if that's the case. And another one of a 31-year-old player. Not going to happen. That's not going to exactly improve our squad. I think modern day football is about, as we said, yeah, totally right. Russ, can you tell Mike what's his opinion coming to us? Yeah, I should ask him actually. We need, exactly, as Anil says, more likely to have, exactly, FFP indeed. We need a threatening striker like this man, someone that will get the keeper worried. Antonio just makes the centre backs worried. Grinsky is here to clear the Cubs' debt, apparently. Well, he is. A lot of his money's gone towards that, hasn't it? Puts his head in dangerous areas. We like players to do that. This transfer is mad. Clearly miles better than anything we've got, but there's no way this move is happening. The Sun might as well have said bidding for Haaland. Or Haaland, indeed, David. But that's why we bring these rumours to you. And, they're just rumours. So the idea is we discuss them and we look into them. There are nuggets where you say what people have asked for. We want a Premier League striker, a young striker, Premier League experience, knows the back of the net, has scored in the Premier League. He does tick those boxes. And so, people are like, oh, we should have got Danny Ings. Danny Ings is so bloody injury prone, it's ridiculous. People go, oh, we should have gone for Ollie Watkins. Well, when Ollie Watkins was at Brentford, he wasn't a Premier League player, was he? So Villa took a punt on him. I'd like us to sign him. Don't see it happening. I mean, I don't see it happening. Indeed, someone put that on Twitter. It ain't coming source common sense, but most of his appearances from 16 to 17 were as a sub, I believe. I don't think you're right there. I'm just gonna have a quick look here. Where's my things? I've got it all here. Let me bring up Everton. Where are we? Everton. Where's his sub appearance? I had that. I had the Easter. It weren't that many, to be perfectly honest, mate. Let's do all competitions, Premier League for Everton, Premier League search. I think it was only it wasn't a lot. Sub appearances. Where is it? Oh, sorry. I did have it, James. I can't find it. I do apologise. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest. I think we need a card. Gillette card. Diop needs to be swapping. Maybe we could do a swap deal with Marseille. Apparently, we're looking at a loan deal for him, as apparently as I said today. Does he want to leave, or are they wanting to get rid? I think Everton might have to try and save some money, to be honest. Russ, you're wasting your breath. You're not going to sign this man. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But mate, we've had 80. We must have had over 80 people we've been linked with in this transfer window. So we give all of them a credence because one's going to stick for us, I think, eventually, isn't it? You always pay more for domestics, indeed. You have to laugh being linked with a striker who's injured. Well, it's the West Ham way, isn't it? Why is Antonio's COVID game he missed not on that list? I didn't put it because he's not injured. That's illness, so that's why I put injury. Moyes for that heat map. Indeed, he played in Everton's last game. He's back from back injury, but I said he missed out 18 games. I think his last game he missed was New Year's Eve or around that time, wasn't it? Let's buy a striker now. Simple. I'm still hopeful. We may say a striker in the fingers crossed. Losing to Man United was the plan, so don't see us as a threat and sell us Lingard. Sorted. Be honest, I've read that several times, but thanks for doing it. What's the Rusty Rumour rating for DCL? Yeah. I mean, personally, I would like to see, because I would like to see someone like that. Again, he's like, it shows, intent. It shows, I think he's a good player on his day. I think every time he's played against us, he seems to have played well when I've seen him. He's in the England squad regularly now, in the same way that we're looking at someone like Tammy Abrahams now, who's banging him in. He scored again, I think 2 goals for Roma yesterday. It's a similar type of signing, I would say, but obviously a little bit more premium. There's a little bit more money to it. Maybe, I don't know why. Maybe it's just that's what being quoted. That's what's the papers, but I mean, I'd like it, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. No way, fly me to the moon. Bozier has excellent potential. But then that's potential, isn't it? And then people are going, it's like the fan base is so divided. We want a Premier League ready striker. Brozier is he has potential. He's not the finished article. People want someone to come in now and hit the ground running as well. So I don't know. What about Rafinha? I don't think Leeds would. But then again, he's not a striker. That's what I mean. We've got enough wide men, I think. To be honest. So DCL doesn't do it for Mike. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think in the lights of putting it on a plate for him, he could be a lot of fun to watch. That's what I mean, Rio. We want someone whose instinct is to score goals. Antonio's instinct is not to score goals, in my opinion. Yes, he's scored a lot of goals in the last 2 or 3 seasons, but until then, he hadn't scored a lot. It was only when they converted him to that forward position. So he's still learning. And he's 30 odd, and he's learning. So we never play. I'd rather we got 3 players of 20. Ludders, yeah, possibly. He played against Villa. I was hoping that Stell will be doing this as I would have made the beginning. Sorry, John. You can go back. Stell will be on tonight, I think. So, Stell's doing a few shows this week, so he'll be on tonight. So you can, he'll say 9 o'clock and you turn up at 9:30 and you won't miss nothing. That's the way it works. Buy the Chelsea player. Yeah, we have. Yeah, Brozier, we spoke about him. But again, he's 20 million. He's not going to be, people will say, oh, there's no ambition. Well, I think we don't really know, that's why the DCL thing came out of the blue a little bit. And it's like, okay, in the same way that the Areola stuff came out of the blue and we signed Areola pretty much the next day. It's like, well, why is that conversation, why is that name popped up? And it's just very strange. If Fiorentina, there's no way we'd spend £70 million, mate, to be honest, Gaz, isn't it? To be honest, would be. We're only about 60 million for someone who hasn't, who's got Premier League experience. He's 24. Yes. Vlahovic, Dusan, whatever his name is. Great player, potential. Is he going to make the mustard here? This is a crucial signing for Moyes. We've been burnt so many times with buying Haller and people like that. And again, Haller, I still think if you flip the narrative and say Moyes went out today and bought Haller for 45 million quid, everyone will be saying, obviously before he came to West Ham, from Ajax, now, people will be going, he's a good player. He's a good player. I like this guy. But so I think it's difficult. Would like a large chunk of the money that we are going to spend. Yeah, no, Ludder said the same thing. I think that most of the business will be done in the summer. Oh yes, definitely. But I think I think as of now onwards, this 2 weeks, I think you're going to see a lot of movement. Not just with West Ham. I think you'll see a lot all over the place because a lot of managers, a lot of backroom staff, they've got 2 weeks. It's almost like this is like where the transfer window really begins, I think, for a lot of teams, because now they've got 2 weeks to do some business. I think we just need to get business done. News needs to push forward. Indeed, Jamaica. I mean, he's picked. I think they've got 3 games in 2 weeks. I think something. It's generally lots of factors. Arbed, the payer, their club limited. People are just not getting it. Think it can. That's why. Mark, I'm exactly the same. I think people assume that we can just go, hey, can we buy a player? Thanks, bye. It doesn't happen like that. Even more so now in this world we live in, people aren't selling players until they get players in. So it's a real dominoes effect, unless they're forced to sell them in terms of financial constraints or stuff like that. It doesn't happen that simple. It doesn't. And even more so now than it did then. In the pre-COVID world, that player he was on about Russ from Southampton, they're saying it's not true. We are after their player. Who knows, Gazza? No one knows. Richarlison 50 million. And I don't think he's the striker who's going to make a big difference for us. Ray thinks it's another Andy Carroll. Just want to say, love the consistency of the channel. Keep it up, bro. Thank you. 11 he's come. Thank you, BRDC. We try and do some stuff. Yeah, I mean, we try at least get you a video a week, a video a day. That's what we try and do. Sometimes 2 if we're lucky. There'll be no one as fed up with Moyes now as a million to spend and has spent 2 years waiting for a striker. Best we will free fall down the league without signings. Everyone's on the downer today, isn't it? At the end of the day, I think with everything that's gone on, Moyes is we now know, we have to take everything at face value, don't we? Moyes said at his press conference on Friday that the board have been great. They basically said, look, the money's there if you want to go and spend it. And so we take it at face value. So it's not them. It's Moyes' decision now. Moyes and Rob Newman. So that's the way I'm looking. I look at everything at face value, and that's what I've been told. And if it's smoke and mirrors, fair enough. But that's what I've been told. So that's the only concrete evidence we've got to look at. Really, in all, Moyes saying that is the only concrete evidence we've got. We can say, oh yeah, they done this. We don't know any of that. We've got no concrete. We've got someone actually saying it in the press, to the camera, to his face. And it's on YouTube anyway, so it's on the West Ham YouTube page anyway, in terms of that interview. So there we go. I can't believe how much football we now talk. I know. Oh no, don't worry. Still got a minge here. Still got my minge. We love a loan deal. We do. What chocolate? I haven't got any chocolate yet. I need to get some. Shows that ain't the Premier League. Exactly. I mean, look at Lukaku. They spent so much money bringing Lukaku back, who's banging him in the Premier League. He's gone to Inter Milan. He's come back to Chelsea, and he's gash at the moment. So who says that, the guy from Fiorentina is going to be the mustard, and he's spending 70 million quid for him? Is there any news on the other players we've been linked with? It's all gone a bit quiet. Well, Stell will do a roundup tonight of the latest news. I think some stuff about Coletta Carr, about looking at a loan deal. We love a loan deal, don't we? And Ambrosia. I think those are the 2. Oz, hope you're well. How do you feel about signing? Nah, don't like him. Rusty boy, Shashi Minge. Set that go up, gutted still. Indeed, the 60 million will probably be installments. Oh God, there's so many. Room rating is a meh. What Brozier have a buyback clause if we do get him? Of course they will. Hypothetically, DCL, or of course, you go for the bodies. You go for the bodies. You go for Hossack, Lings and Dukovsky. I think that'd be a great transfer window for us. Would you pay 60 million for a striker for this important season with last 16, or buy a defender, left back and striker? Well, I think it's quality, isn't it? We're looking at quality players in now. So I think defense we can get away with in in the rest of this year. Because I think Zuma coming back in makes a massive difference. That adds that extra effect. Then you've got Dawson, and then you've got potentially Diop to come in. You've got Alese, you've got Baptiste, you've got some good. If push came to shove, Deck could go in there. Left back. I think that's where we struggle a little bit. You've got Cresswell. I think he wasn't particularly good yesterday. You've got Ben Johnson. You've got cover. You've got Longello as well. It's the striker, I think, is the main issue for us. Because at the end of the day, touch wood, Antonio had been injured this season. And so but then he's not, but then people criticise him for not being a striker. So that's what I think, to be honest. 20 million good for 23 would certainly show ambition, but don't see selling him when they can leave banging him in until the end season. This is the future. Yep, I totally agree. Is it true? Well, we don't think it's true. We've just been reported. Afternoon, Rich. Hope you're well. Moyes can't win. People begging for a striker, then saying no to DCL. Exactly, for Premier League ready striker. I totally agree, Gary. We've answered that one. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through so many comments. I read Rob. I'm not icing on to other targets. We'll see. More like 40 million of add-ons. Yep, I agree. If we don't get players in now, we could lose. If we don't, could do. Could do, lads. Could do. So I'm just going to try and go through a few. No one in the top 6 has signed. Thank you, Gazza. Exactly. No one in the top 6 has signed one. My fault. Exactly. Tampy is killing it for Rome at the moment. My son asked to do West-Ham, got booed when they return. I said, well, depends when they go. Rice would be cheered, I'm sure, wherever he goes, except Spurs. Indeed, Skip. What do you think about Van der Beek and converting Vlasic to a second striker? We're not getting Van der Beek. If we're not going to get Lingard, not going to send us Van der Beek, are they? It's the same thing. What will be, Russ. We could be up, to a blue in the face. I'm sure something will happen. Exactly, Gaz. And that's what we do. We just try and bring you some information, and you guys can. I mean, we dismiss things straight away. A lot of times where it's like, I know, Diego Costa or Hazard or what was the other one? Alexis Sanchez, Aubameyang. You cross them off your head straight away. But I think the DCL one was interesting. I just found it an interesting one because there's things in there which people have asked for. So he's the next level above because he scores goals. That's what we do. We need someone who can score 12. You're totally right, Patrick. We want someone who can but consistently score that fifth. Like I'm not even bothered for 20 because we shout the goals quite a lot. 15. That's what I want. Someone who can score 15 goals a season. I don't, there's very few clubs that got a guy who's going to score 20 goals a season, realistically, so it tends to be shared out. But, you think, Antonio's goals, if Souček gets some, we get, it sort of gets spread around. Bowen gets, say, 10 or so. Ben Rama gets 10 or, so it starts sort of distributing the goals a little bit. But if we could have a striker that could give us 15 each season, someone who's 24-year-old English striker, then 2 weeks. Well, I'm sorry. It's 2. Yeah, we've got 1 week basically, haven't we? The end of it's next week, but we've got 2 weeks without a game. That's what I mean. So you've got a week to get him in. You've got a week to blood him in, and even that's the FA Cup. So they might be cup tied already. What I want, some huge signs coming to get top 4. Yes, but I'd rather have some that builds for the future. Indeed, we'll be screwed if Antonio gets injured. It would mean Central and Yarm on the wing. Don't forget Benny's back as well. Hoofit is still getting stale. I think the Everett is a decoy. Fair enough. What's the point of bringing you if we don't sign him? And Gazza, we don't know. We don't know if we're not signing anyone, do we? That's the thing. We don't know the leaks. No one knows, whether it's X, whether it's anyone else. No one actually knows, apart from David Moyes, Rob Newman, and the board, do they? Do you know what? I like that. I like that if it comes out, it comes good. But it's true. It's like there's no leaks, and I really enjoy that. So particularly a lot of the teams has had their contracts renewed. Like we had Antonio, we had Fabianski. I'm sure Ben Johnson's. He's got a 2-year. We've got a 2-year option on him at the end of the summer. Maybe Declan. Maybe these things have happened and we don't know about them. I was reading today, Claren Hugh. They reckon that Souček talks have started for a new contract. So we'll see. No chance Emerson let him go, so don't matter. Well, they might need the money. Depends who comes in it. I say we just signed Beppe, Neymar, Messi as backup strikers. Possibly Varane. Yeah. People moan about it. Yeah, but people will moan that Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, none of them got Premier League experience. So there we go. Top things are buying because their squad is made of top players and don't need players, whereas our squad isn't all quality. We'll be happy with loans that will play for now. Teams have sussed out Antonio. They have. In fact, there will be no signing. We'll see, Christian, what happens, man. All the clubs will wait to find out who don't want. They'll buy them. Do you think any of our youngsters will be brought into the first team in the future? I think you'll see quite a few. I imagine you'll see quite a few for the Kidderminster game. Don't get why we haven't got Hosek on loan. I don't understand either. I mean, he's at the end of the day, on paper, Exeter deal was there to be done, but it's not. But again, it's like we're assuming that Adam Hosek is someone that Moyes is looking at. He might not be, but we've put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. But that might not be the right sum for Moyes. But all I want all my toys at once. I know, but I want everyone at once. I want everyone. I want Neymar and Messi at the same time. It is Ben Johnson's birthday today. I find it funny what a manager could do to a club. The only reason I'm doing bits is because Moyes hasn't got that luxury. But then also, I think if, again, like people are looking at the video, we should be doing like them. Like, at the end of the day, Coutinho scored in his debut. Fair enough. He's on something like he's on some ridiculous wage, and they've paid quite a lot of that of Barcelona to get him in. Someone like Digne, he is 100. I think he's on about 150 grand a week. They paid 27 million quid, something like that, for him. He's 29 years old. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's coming to the end of his career. If we'd spent nearly 30 million pounds on a left back, an aging left back, people go, "Wait, we should have gone for Lee Buchanan at Derby." It's like, well, make your mind up. Do you know what I mean? They didn't. I think it's just one of those things where I honestly think sometimes I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And then people go, "Oh, we're not promoting the youth," but then at the same time they say, "But we're not spending money on new players." Well, if you buy new players and you can't develop the youth because that will take that person's spot, I don't think anyone really knows what they want. They just want something. That's what I'll be honest about. Last day fun and games indeed. We will be Ray, and hopefully we'll have a couple of ex-Hammers, ex-players on the channel for next Monday for the transfer window closing. All the fun and games. Mbappe over at Sterile Russ would do a different job. I'd stick Anton up front. He's a big lad up front. We won't go mad with signings. We're more interested in balancing the books. We can't challenge for top 4 or 6 with Dawson defence and no competition for Antonio. Top 6, I think top 4. Honestly, I think we're miles away from top 4. I think we was in a bit of a false position. I don't think we're a top 4 team. As you saw with Man United, they won that game purely because of their bench. We were nullifying each other. It was 2 teams quite even, but it's the squad. And that's what won the game for Man United. They could bring on Cavani, Martial. They could bring on Rashford. They played with 4 strikers up front with almost 4 or 5 really, because they had Greenwood. They took Greenwood, but they had Ronaldo. They had so much attacking flair. We haven't got that. We brought on Ryan Fredericks for Soufal, which I thought was actually quite a brave substitution for Moyes, considering what Moyes usually does, because actually he's more of an attacking fullback and he has some real pace. But that's the issue, and that takes time. That does take time to build. This is the last summer. You got to think there's a lot of people with high wages. Yarmolenko, people like that. Their contracts are coming. That's still part of the Pellegrini era, really. I know Fabianski is, but he would do well whatever side we played, and Fornals as well. But a lot of those signings that we sold, that we bought in with Haller and Anderson, and now Yarmolenko on big wages. It's still not Moyes' squad, and it does take time. And this year is even more so. Villa had 100 million to spend. Yeah, but they've always spent 100 million. They bought Buendia. They spent 100 million already. They spent it last year. Unless Moyes is putting all the egos in one basket. I keep saying it's happened with the squad. Villa will end up in a fire sale in 2 years' time. Exactly, David. Exactly. They'll be in a fire sale. We don't want to be in that situation where in 2 years' time we've got to sell Bowen. We've got to just to even the books out. Everton in the same boat. Everton's wage bill is phenomenally high, like stupidly high for the amount of money they've got. Do you reckon Ogvex will play? I hope so. Ian, higher. Moyes needs to take an educated risk on. He must feel the wall. He must do. I mean, he's not stupid. He's been in the game for too long, but he must feel. But as I said, I think I did the thing last week where he came out and said, "Oh, it's been 2 years since he's been looking for the right striker for 2 years, like basically an Antonio 2.0." But then the people he was most linked with were people like El Nesri, who's not. He's very much like a snippy forward. Ben Brendan Diaz is not. He's not an Antonio 2.0. So it's like, well, I don't think anyone. That's this one. Everyone is throwing ideas out there, but it's fine. Be lucky to make it. Everyone's on a right down today, isn't it? If everyone was like Moyes, consumer demand would plummet and the economy would crash. I think we'll finish 5th with 2 decent signings, otherwise 6th. But 6 again sounds like a bad thing. But how is it? I think this will be the first time ever we will finish in the top 6 2 seasons in a row. Ever in the Premier League. Maybe ever in the top league. Ever. That's a huge thing for West Ham. I need to figure that. I need to talk to Nigel about that. He'll know that about it. But I think it would be, if we finish in 6th, it would be the first time in our history that we finish in the top 6 in 2 consecutive seasons. I'm thinking Redknapp era, we did like a high one, and I think then we finished 7th. That's huge. I think we'll get 2 players in, see us okay. 6th, then we'll see Newman at the work making. That's totally agree, Mark. I think that is totally agree. Don't forget Newman's coming in relatively not the whole season. You couldn't start until whenever it was, and so yeah. Although he had names and plans, I totally agree. I think the summer will be interesting. There's a lot of free transfers. There's a lot of new names that will be banded around. Rob's going to hopefully it would send him a sort of more people for him to look at as well. You've also got stuff like the World Cup will make a massive difference as well. If Moyes had brought in Yarmolenko like he did in the last few minutes, he would have wasted. Yeah, no, exactly. That's the ironic thing. It's so true. On a positive note, I'm always positive. If you buy the Big Six will buy 100 million, we'll always be playing. Of course you will be. Of course you will be. Russell Brown's on TalkSport. He was indeed. He was indeed. I had a word with Jim to try and get him onto Miami's 11. The signings has been a big flop. Kral, Vlasic, not even a chance of youngsters. Who knows? I don't know. I thought it might have been part of the master plan, because actually part of the COVID rules are you have to have if you have to have the under 23s you bring into the side have to be experienced, and if you haven't played in the Premier League, they can't be experienced, surely. But I don't think so. If Brown hadn't lost the ball, if Freddie had, yeah. If my auntie had bollocks, she'd be my uncle. It's much and maybes will be 6. Exactly, Mark. That is my point exactly. Christ, I remember, I remember that the last time he beat Man United at Old Trafford, wasn't that to keep us up in the Premier League? I think it was, and it's like, you've got. I remember like the Villa drawing with us the season before last, and we'd gone to Man United and got a draw, hadn't we? And that had been the point to keep us up, like 2 games before the end of the season. I think some people would rather us have like a scrap in the relegation battle. That's the way it seems at the moment. It's like, come on. I need my perspective Pete mask back on. We only qualified for oh dear, we'll qualify for Europe twice and consecutively. Do you know what I mean? I don't want us to be like Tottenham fans, but I think some of us are at the moment. Some of us have been proper up against it, and it's like, yeah, I can see your frustrations, but let's look back and look where we've come from, And I don't like to, but I'm just very similar to Nigel Khan, the voice of reason. How is he the voice of reason around here? But it is true. Winning Europe would be lovely. If we have another long-term injury, there's no way finishing top 6. Most Everton fans would take what you have got. Exactly. I mean, you look at Everton, Newcastle, Burnley, Watford. Look at Watford. That's what I mean. Let's see. It's not all doom and gloom here. Think Jeff Hurst would put, he would do. Agree the sum will be key. Top 6 this season, but successfully to walk before we run. Gary, totally. We tried that with Pellegrini. We tried to run, and that was a massive flop, and we almost went down. And if it wasn't for Mr. Moyes, we would be in the Championship that season and lost all of our players. Declan Rice would have gone. Let's not do it again. Let's learn. It made me laugh the way Man United said in the Breen that they'd won the Premier League. Well, I mean, they've only just got above us because of that. So no offense, but by summer we'll drop about to 8th, 9th in the league. Top 10 finish. Lost 6 games, was 4th. Was a dream. Top 6, yeah, that's fine by me. Who is the source? It was reliable sources of the Sun, Daily Star, and a few others as well. What's our point? I think we're a couple behind on the barometer. Check out Nigel on 6'2". He says that would be a great opportunity indeed. Will the owners ban 20? I don't think they will. Spuds finish above us, then that's not progression. But it's consistency. I mean, we finished 6th last season. I don't think I think we'll finish 6th again this season. That's for me. That's. I mean, we'll agree to disagree. Everyone's got opinions, but I think that is progress for not season on season, but season compared to ever. I don't know. We've got a taste of what we feel like. That's exactly the point, Pierre. That's exactly. We've got a taste of it now. We don't want to let it go. But in truth, we're doing brilliant. Pierre, the voice, that is a very bloody good point. That's exactly what I'm trying to get through. For me, we've got a taste of being in the top 4. We've got a taste, and we don't want to let it go. And we rather spend, we want to buy players, which is great. But don't forget that happened before Pellegrini. Finish 6th and both win the Europa, but we can screw over. Exactly. We win Europa. Done. Can you see us taking? Yes, definitely. Totally. Even after I always thought Sam Johnson I thought it'd been Sam Johnson and Areola as the two. And Fabianski was going to be leaving, but now Fabianski has signed apparently has signed his contract extension. I think it'll be Johnson and Areola. Personally, I think that's what will happen. Frustration is because we lost matches against, but we always lose matches against them, don't we? It's always the West Ham way. God, I remember we're losing 3-0 to Burnley, and there was a pitch invasion. And I remember this, and it's still West Ham. David Moyes hasn't beaten a top one of the greedy 6 away for 64 games in the league. So there we go. Time to bring some of our excellent under-23s who are top of the league. And so, the future's bright in that respect. How about Patrick Schlick? Well, again, Patrick Schlick is going to be 40 million quid. Arguably, he plays a different. The way he plays is very similar to when we brought in Sebastian Haller, and people are crying out, for someone like him. I think actually he's very similar to bringing Haller in terms of how he plays. I think the frustration is those players have come through the door, but neither of anyone else in the top 10 apart from Wolves. Are the Wolves in top 10 or Villa? They're the biggest one. They're the highest team to have bought anyone. Final 20, and we can consistently top 6 and get close to 4. Sounds great, Mandy. Sounds great. Messing around, and we lose Antonio in 27th for Jamaica. We do 3 games. Next level is us finishing consistently in 5 and 8th. Remember before last year we were David, exactly. That to me is consistency. That to me is progress. Progress is we're not, for us, we're not counting down 40 points. We're not in that discussion at the beginning of the season when the pundits give all their this person's who's going to go down there. We're not in that discussion. We are in the European discussion. That is progress to me as a team. Year on year might not look like that, but year on year, all the way from 126 years ago, that's progress. That's progress. Don't you love it? Exactly. God, I remember. Do you remember our Save Our Seasons games at Upton Park? Our SOS against Wiggins, and we always lose. And when we used to play the bloody Great Escape. Jesus, we don't do that now, do we? Washdow's and Bojan, great young striker. Great young striker. Played very well. Similar attributes, I think, to Antonio. Hasn't got the pace, which I think something people want a fast striker. He's not very pacey. Does a lot for the team. I can't see, although we're linked with a £20 million bid for him, can't see us getting him. Chelsea might as well hang on to him. He's the best option, totally agree, and be at least 10. Yeah, I mean, he would be, yeah. Are we slowly turning into an Everton clone? As long as we don't turn into a Spurs clone. That's all I'm bothered about. I'll be happy when with top 7, which I think will get us European strength. Oscar, exactly. But on Twitter, it's like we're going down with everything at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's just like It's like that's the thing that it's like it's awful. It's like, oh no, we're barely gonna finish 8th. 2 years ago, I would have bitten your hand off to finish 8th. Comfortably finished 8th, or we're only going to be in the Europa Conference League. We've only been in Europe properly once in the last 10, 15 years. So it is. We have never been able to beat. Exactly. They're our bogey side. The fans have got a taste of it, but the board need to play their part. Yeah, maybe. But also, it's not just that, Gaz. The board, but Moyes has said the board are giving them money. It's not exactly about the board. It's about him picking the people he wants to pick, and the clubs then wanted to sell them to us. We're not the same club we were 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Man United don't want to sell us Lingard. They don't want us to go on, don't want us to have Lingard because we're a threat. That to me is progress as well. And because that we're in a different position, difficult position. Fulham boy, yeah, totally agree. Brilliant. Alfie, hope you're well. What have I missed? Oh, I've had lots of fun. I think our problem is Moyes has moved us very quickly, and that, almost too quickly, maybe, Mitch. If that makes sense. If we'd gone, me and Stel made a good point the other day. It's like Stel says, when we were down that rubbish December, if we were like in relegation, like we like had a crap start to the season, and then we won a few games, and then ended up at the end of December in like 4th or 5th, people would go, this is amazing. But because it's the way around, and we lost a few, and we ended up being 4th, people are like, this is a disaster. End of the day, someone like, you look at someone like Arsenal. Arsenal last season like finished like 10th, 9th, 10th, didn't they? They were used to being up there. So for them, they were like in a relegation battle. We were all laughing at them. That was us usually. And I think maybe Moyes has gone, the dial's been turned up to 11, and maybe it should have gone 3, 5, 7, but we'll see. Villa looked better for last season. Can't not get a strike again. Totally stupid. We'll see. As a team, we're only halfway there. Totally. Don't go on Twitter. Ruin your date. Yep. Oh, I never do. My one has only have had one pre-season. No, he would have had the pre-season from Pellegrini. He would have the pre-season 2 seasons ago, but that was very short because of COVID, wasn't it? And then he had one proper pre-season. I think I might be right. A lot of tweets on Twitter. That's why I don't use it. Would take Carvalho. I'd take Carvalho over Lingard. No problem at all. No problem at all. 5 million quid or whatever. Absolute bargain. No comments this time next week. But there we go. Afternoon has Moyes seems like he's waiting for the stars to align for a striker. I think there's lots of moving parts, and I think sometimes we assume we can just go out and buy someone, and that's not the case. And it's even hard. It's even stranger now with COVID. It's good not worrying about relegation. Exactly, Lawrence. It's good when you switch on your BBC Sport app tables, and we're in the first section. We don't have to scroll for the first in the first half. That's great for me. I love it. We've a lot of that need to go. We need a bigger squad. And Gaza, that dead wood came from a period where we were buying loads of players because we wanted loads of players in under Bilic, under Pellegrini. And now people want us to buy players and squad players. So we don't want that to happen again. Anyway, good afternoon. Hope you're well, Kimbo. Do you think we'll get a striker in before? No. I think we'll get a forward in. I don't think we'll get a striker. I don't think you get strikers nowadays as such. I could see us getting someone who's an attacking like forward. I still think you're going to see someone like I could see Diaz come, but not for 25 million quid. I could see Carvalho come maybe for 5 million quid, but I wouldn't see. It's DCO. I don't think it's going to happen unless it gets dropped to like 35, 40 million quid. But then I think there'll be another 10 clubs in for him. Antonio has been so complacent. He should be dropped over reliance, and Dawson is a squad player. Yeah, maybe. That'll be sorted in the summer. Contracts finishing and good free transfers. Can't do it there. Unlucky after this weekend. Top 4 looks interesting. It does, Smoke. Thanks for joining us, man. If you like it, come and join in the fun. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Rather take Europa over Champions League because we haven't got a chance. Indeed, we wouldn't. I think most fans are worried if we don't finish top 4, Rice is off. I don't think so. Not this season. For me, Rice has been around for a while now at West Ham, and Mark's in his ear, Mark's been around for 18 years. He's never been in a position where we finished consistently in the top. So we finished in the top 8, or whatever. So I don't think, I don't think that's happening maybe the summer, maybe next season they could be in the end in the summer next after the World Cup. It's too many moving parts this year, I think. I agree, Gaza. Much deadwood indeed. Is Moyes scared of buying a striker? Would be rather scoring. That's what I think. He hasn't had the bet. He's never had the best record with a striker. I think Andy did a thing about it. I think Stell's done stuff about it in terms of all the strikers he's bought. Someone like Andrew Johnson, I remember at Crystal Palace was banging him in. Went to Everton, did absolute gash. James Beattie, I think he didn't. Did he sell Beattie? I can't remember. He's not. I think he's more likely to get an attacking midfielder who can, like Jesse did, and then that gives you the options, and you can play a false 9. And I'm still, if we had that, I think we wouldn't be as reliant on Antonio. I sometimes wouldn't play Antonio for some games when it's not right for him. West Ham do not get the credit they deserve. Splitting thank you indeed, David. Better be big fish in small ponds, indeed. I hope he's put off by what's happened to Grealish and becoming a robot and losing his personality. At least he'll always be the main man. And Pierre, after the summer, he will be the main man because Mark's gone. He's got the keys to the castle. He's the club captain. It's not just the team captain. He's the club captain. He's the poster boy. Hugo never went out to those balls. All I want to do is go out to those balls. Man United are worried about beating us. Then we go on the way. Yeah, exactly, Mike. When Man United don't want to sell to us because they're worried that we're a competitor, when they are winning like they won the league when they scored that 93rd minute winner, that's surely we can take some relevance, something enjoyment out of that. Anyway, as a poor record with strikers, yep, he has. I heard about Brozier, great, interesting, interesting guy. Did you see one of our no, he did, he got panned for that, didn't he? I know not many fans will like him now, but I think we should have got. Do you know what I said last season? If we had Arnautovic, it would have been in the Champions League. He would have got top 4 that Everton side, just like West Ham, well drilled and defensive, just needed 20. Totally, Ed. How many times we get into the box? How many times we make moves? How many times we get into those positions and we've got no one there? And then we have one. So like yesterday, so on Saturday, 1 or 2 chances we had. We didn't have the right people there instinct. It's instinct to get there. But yeah. But it's interesting. It is interesting, and I mean it's great that the young under 17, under 23-year-old goalkeepers just signed a new contract. The Hungarian, is it Hegyi? So that's great as well. Great, it's brilliant. We've managed without buying a striker in the last couple of windows, but we may pay for it if we don't get one. If Moyes doesn't want to buy one, the boys balls to play one of the youngsters, Maybe, but then again, with Jesse, when Jesse came in, we thought, why are you going to get one of these in? We've got loads of these. We've got Ben Rama. Then he comes and scores 9 goals in 11 games or something ridiculous, or 16. Was it 11 goals? He scores something ridiculous. Striker doesn't do that. He's just getting a striker. He's not going to do that. Makes me laugh. Takes a throw. Just shows he hasn't got that striker's instincts. Well, he likes a long. He's the only one who can do a long throw in it, so that's okay. He can do the long throw. As long as, but then he's not a striker's instinct. You look, where's his heat map? That's it. Oh, I didn't want to get the heat maps out, but you made me get the heat maps out now. Where's Antonio's heat map? That's Antonio's heat map. That's our striker's heat map. Okay, so he's not a striker. He's not a striker. Do you know what I mean? So he's all over the place. So that to me shows that he's he's not he's a forward but he's an integral piece of how Moyes' team plays. That's why when I look at new people coming in, I look at their heat map. So if I looked at so that's Calvert-Lewin's heat map, it's not massively different. It's all over the place, and so that's why I saw potential. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go in a minute, but I'm just gonna last few comments and then we'll skedaddle. Look at Lukaku, he can't score for toffee. Exactly. People overreacting in Moyes we trust, give him time and trust to make the right decisions. He ain't done too bad, apart from Hugo. In all honesty, play Vasic up front. I mean, it could be worth a try. Do you know what, Lawrence? That's what I think might happen. That's why when all the links came up with Traore, I was like, no, never. People go, no. But actually, I can see Bowen. You see Bowen's positions now. His last few goals have been striker goals in that 6-yard box with headers. And I think that there's an option there. If it's not working with Antonio, put Antonio on the right wing. Let him just go absolutely mental at the left back. And then just give Bowen a bit of chance up front. That's what I'd like to see him move a more bit around. He's a big lump. But he's injured. He keeps getting injured, Brio. I can get his. I can find it for you. Did you see? Noble and Fredericks and Johnson all tapping up with Lingard. Then he kicked a ball at them, so that was quite funny. Why is he going to send back? He should be our number one. Well, I suppose it's his decision, really. Who else would do? Anyway, thanks, Maddie. Thanks. like, and subscribe. As I said, if anyone's new around here, I'm gonna have to go. I'm only going to do 45 minutes. We'll be here for almost an hour. Anyway, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. All that good stuff is all lovely. This week we've got Stells doing the flagship show tonight, I believe. He's got a couple of shows coming up. This week we've also got Governor B, hopefully coming on, doing his Mimers 11, maybe some ex-players as well. So loads of good stuff as always. So despite the fact there's no actual football, and there'll be loads of rumours. We'll be back with more rumours. You love a rumour. We all love a rumour. Maybe you consider becoming a member as well. For over 50 of them, and as I all do at every one of my shows, I'd like to thank everyone personally. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Make sure you give it a like. Give it a like. That's always nice. And until next time, take care. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those jab appointments. Get those boosters. And I'll see you very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,